Is a religion related to God, or is a religion not related to God? I mean, because if it's related to God, then clearly Buddhism, for the most part, is not a religion.
Yeah,
because
it might
it's
be
not-
like adjacent to religion. It might
Right.
have some religious implications,
Right.
but it's not itself a religion. In
But if
fact,
it- but if
a
it-
lot of Eastern religions are going to have that problem.
But if religion is not related to God necessarily, but is related to the human impulse to worship, then you might say communism is a religion.
Yeah.
So this is okay. So look, let's cut through it all and just say, what does Joe Heschmeyer say? I don't want to. We can multiply the problems, or I can just ask you, how do you define a religion?
So I'm going to step back from answering that just for a second, just to say, here's what some brighter minds than I have come up with, and then kind of explain where I've come to kind of with that.
Okay.
Just to kind of show my work. So Aquinas quotes Cicero. Now, Aquinas is clearly writing from a Western perspective on religion, so is Cicero. And their definition is that religion consists in offering service and ceremonial rites to a superior nature that men call divine. So there's two aspects there worth noting. First, it's explicitly connected with the question of God. But then second, it's not just like, what do I happen to believe about God? It's an actual lived thing. It's not enough to just like sit at home and say, yeah, there's probably a God. That real religion has to act. You're offering sacrifice. You're offering service. You're doing something in response and in relation to God. That's Aquinas says. I think that's really good. Our own Jimmy Akin, he gives a similar definition. He says religion is a system of belief about the divine and or the afterlife. So he's trying to include some aspects of Eastern religious questions because they'll be looking at aspects of divinity or aspects of the afterlife. And he's got that and or there. Emil Durkheim, the sociologist, he gives a definition that even kind of splits the difference. His is very broad, though. He says a religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things, that is to say, things set apart and surrounded by prohibitions, beliefs and practices that unite its adherents in a single moral community called the church. Now, you can see again, he's certainly writing from a Western perspective.
Right.
But he's including beliefs and practices. He's very much not in the camp that the question, do I believe in God or not? Religion is something much, much bigger than that.
No, that sounds like a sociologist defining religion, which is what
like,
Durkheim is. But it sounds very sociological. And it does seem like a religious person would have a different definition of religion than a non-religious person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Durkheim's going to say, it's a whole formed of parts, a more or less complex system of myths, dogmas, rites, and ceremonies. And again, like that's certainly kind of an outside observer kind of looking in and saying, what do I find in common between all these things that we're calling religions? So those are all kind of attempts to do it. I actually like the way Vatican II and Rabbi Abraham Heschel approach the question, which is not defining...
Did they work together on this?
No, but
Vatican II and Rabbi Heschel.
We're going to get more conspiracy theories.
It sounded like the way you said it. It sounded like the two of them sat down together, Vatican II and Rabbi Heschel.
So Rabbi Heschel just says, religion is an answer to man's ultimate questions.
Oh.
I think that's a great definition.
That is really brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, that's insightful. Okay, so the religion is an answer to man's ultimate questions.
And
okay.
in Vatican II, in Nostra Aetate, says men expect from various religions answers to the unsolved riddles of the human condition. And then it gives a bunch of examples of the kinds of questions people ask that are religious questions, like what's the aim of life, what's the moral good, what's sin.
Right.
But I think they're just giving a lot more words to give Rabbi Heschel's kind of definition.
Right, yeah.
That religion is about the unsolved riddles of the human condition or man's ultimate questions. And that's where I end up. That if you're exploring the big, like the first thing, so to speak, you're exploring religious questions.